everyone to yet another episode of Leading Ladies, the podcast where we celebrate trailblazing women who manage and balance their ambition with grace, grit, and a big dose of glamour. Today we have someone who's as Bollywood as it gets. She is somebody who's grown in film sets but is now creating a story of her own as an actor, producer, content creator, and above all, as a woman who leads with love and courage. So we have today one and only Amita Sachar with us, and I'm so excited that we have her today to dive into this world of Bollywood industry, but not just knowing about Bollywood, but her journey in this industry of how she became not just an actor, but also wearing multiple hats of producer and content creator, and as well as a supermom. Welcome, Amita.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you.
And so happy that you're taking the center stage in your own story today.
We all do, right?
Yes.
As women, we all have to be like, I don't know, I was just talking to a friend of mine and he met me after long and he's like, how do you girls do it, you know? You girls put your hands in 20 things and you just do it so well.
Yeah.
I said, I think we are made like that.
My dad says that.
Yeah,
sometimes he comes and says that it hats off to all the women who are working here.
Yes.
Because I can see my daughter, it's a tough job managing work and at home, being a mom. So because he sees me up close and personal, he feels so much about all the women working here, and he's so verbal about it now that he has seen me doing it. So I think it's also good that people have started appreciating that fact.
Absolutely. I think we are lucky to be in this generation where, you know, we have such amazing men who support us.
Yes. So Amita, let's dive into how it all started.
Right.
You come from Bollywood background, if I have to say. Your dad's a producer, your brother's a producer, you're married to Raghav Sachar, who's an amazing singer and a music composer and plays multiple instruments, 40 plus instruments.
40
My
plus,
goodness, so many people surrounded from that industry. So was it that because you've seen this industry up close personal and that's why you are part of it and you continued to pursue your career in it, or something else inspired you to be part of this?
So my dad's been a part of this industry even before he was married. You know, he comes from Punjab and he's had his own amazing story, which hopefully I'll do a documentary on sometime.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm really inspired with his life, you know. And he was 16 years old when he came. He made it big here. And when I was born, I was already on the sets, you know. He was already producing. He was a part of different projects, big projects. So I was always on sets. What got me, like people say, filmy kida.
When doctor ko doctor, family wale sab doctor ban jate hain.
Yeah, so I think one of his projects where the cast was Madhuri Dixit and Chunky Pandey.
Oh, I love Madhuri Dixit.
And yeah, she's amazing. And I used to be on the sets. I used to hang with her, and I used to be like, oh my God, she is like
Diva.
You know, I would actually see people going crazy to meet her and all. And I was like, I want to do this. You know, I want to be in front of the camera. So I remember as a kid, while growing up, I would just go in front of the mirror, I would talk, I would act, I would shut my bathroom, I would do something or the other in front of the camera or in front of the mirror for hours. And I was very clear that I wanted to become an actor.
So was it the limelight, if that's what we have to say?
No, I think it was the cinema. You know,
like
how you could live like so many different characters.
Larger than life.
Yeah. And you know, to be on the set is a different feeler, you know, because when you're on the set, it's you're working, but to see that as a product on bigger screen, I think it's amazing. And I was always fascinated.
Tell me, your dad has been a producer in big movies, you know, Omkara, Drishyam, and now next one, Drishyam, is coming as well. Did you ever feel the pressure of, you know, outdoing or doing better because they have been such amazing in their
Yes.
jobs, and now that pressure is on you as well. So did you ever get under that pressure?
No, I don't think so, because my dad's the most chilled man you'll ever see. So I think being his daughter, I think I've learned that from him. We've had movies where, you know how production sets and value of production is so much bigger than what we can even imagine. And I've seen him being the most chilled, even if there is a shoot which got cancelled or some schedule issue, and the whole team or the production would come, sir, this happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, it's okay, we'll figure it out. Just with a smile. So, I've observed him.
But then sometimes with all these production rescheduling, there's so much of money at stake.
Yes.
I'm sure,
Yes,
because whatever
absolutely.
we've understood,
Yes.
every day costs you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes something happened to the actor,
Yeah.
or there is some back-end issue or
Yes.
technical issue.
Yes.
So I'm sure.
We've had multiple of these situations.
And sometimes it does, like even in corporate world, we have different kind of challenges, right?
Yeah.
We do have different kind of product issues, brand issues, this,
Yes.
that, and I'm sure that it's the same with any
Yes.
industry, just the type of challenge changes.
Correct.
And you've got to keep your cool, I guess.
Absolutely. Because my dad always says that, when you are in a panic situation, you can never think straight.
Yeah.
When you are calmer, you will always take the right decision, even if it's after 2 days. So stay calm. So I try to stay calm.
Being again from this industry, another aspect which is very up close and personal with your life is media.
Yes.
The PR, the media, and what they write about you. There's a lot of trolls.
Right.
There is a lot of stories or rumors that is being put up
Right.
out there. So how do you deal with it? Were there any rumors that really
Yeah.
took a toll on you?
No, I don't think it took a toll on me. So, Shilpa, now the media scene is very different. So when I was getting launched, during my launch time, it was not that we would go to the media or media would come to us or they would see us. We were not supposed to face the media and not do interviews. Now with social media, actors are exposed even before
And there's a
launch.
marketing budget
Yes,
for the actors,
yes.
for the
So
movie to be
that
launched.
was not the case. So whenever we had our workshops, there would be media outside, but we had to take another door, move out from the another door. On sets, media was not allowed till the launch was announced. And the first article that came was is Amita Pathak dating Raghav Sachin?
Ooh.
So that was even before
Before the first movie?
Yeah, during my shoot, because that's when I met him. He gave music for my first film, and that's when I met him. And it was all over. And the reporter turned out to be somebody we knew. My dad started getting calls. I started getting calls. Like the whole media at that time started
Wow.
calling. Is it true? Is it true? And I was like, oh my God, what are we dealing with here now? So I think in my whole journey of dating Raghav for 7 years, we dated for 7 years and we got married. In the whole journey, the media always had this question: is Amita Pathak dating Raghav?
And when did they finally come to know?
On the day of our marriage.
Oh wow! You managed to keep it under the wraps too.
Yeah, because we always, we always said, yeah, we are friends. We hang out together, we like each other, but we never said we were dating. So yeah, if you go on Google and everything, all these articles are there. We may not be dating. We may get married. We may not get married. So yeah,
And fast forward to today, I think we speculate कौन से दिन marriage हो रही है, कौन आएगा उसकी शादी में, इसको invitation जाएगा कि नहीं?
Oh, I had a very big wedding. I had a huge, 10 days of wedding we had, and of course the whole industry was there. Yeah, that was the time when there was an article that came. They were dating and now they are married. So yeah.
When we spoke, Amita, I heard about your health challenges that you faced during both the pregnancy.
Yes.
One was face paralysis.
Yes.
Second was major internal bleeding. I understood from you even today, the doctors still couldn't figure out why it happened.
Yes.
And something very unique.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I would use the word trauma, if I have to think about it. And when I heard it from you, I think all of us had a very scary feeling inside, and going through it is even more scarier.
Yeah, because you're clueless.
Yeah. So how did you come out of it? What made you emerge stronger after this? Because you need a lot of courage and strength, to go through it, and especially if you're an actor.
Yeah.
Having a face paralysis, I think it's like,
It was traumatizing.
telling a carpenter you don't have a
Yeah.
hand. It's
Yes.
something like that.
Absolutely. I think it was my family. You know, my mom, dad, my husband, my babies. I think I'm a very family-oriented person. So I think for me, anything in my life that happens, my family plays a very major role. Whether it's my career, whether it's my work, whether it's my day-to-day life. Everything revolves around them. You know, my brother, my sister, everybody. So I think having them around me, and like I said, you know, my dad's a very calm person. My mom is even calmer. So I think they are, I don't know how to put it across, but I think they are my lifeline who guide me how to take my life forward. And with my husband, he's always there hand to hand, like, you know, just walking me through any difficulties that come my way. And then, of course, my kids, you know, they are my motivation to live life.
But they, I'm sure, did not know what you went through.
No, they did not, because my first pregnancy, 10 days before I was supposed to deliver, Raghav was performing with Rahman sir, and he was supposed to travel. On 31st night, I had a Bell's palsy attack, which is facial paralysis. So I was paralyzed from one side of my face, and we didn't know what happened because
And it just happened
it
out
just
of nowhere.
happened. Yeah, I did have a tinnitus, which is like a ear infection, which could have been the reason, but we still not sure what caused it. I was taken to the emergency. They said that it's a minor, Bell's palsy attack. They did not put me on heavy steroids because I was pregnant. My gynac said I could take it, but they delayed it for like 7 days, which took the process a
Because
little
of
longer.
the delivery coming up.
Yes. And it took me 6 months to recover. Now, my trauma was that I had never entered a hospital before that. As a child, as a teenager, as an adult, I had never been to a dentist also. I never needed to. So, straight away going to an emergency with Bell's palsy, with your pregnancy, my only concern was, I hope my baby is
Baby's
okay.
fine.
As an actor, my face was completely distorted because I would eat something, it would just fall from here. I would sleep with one eye open. They had to tape it up with a sellotape so my eyes would shut. I could not flare my nose. It was crazy. It was just crazy. I had told Raghav, I don't want to see anybody after my delivery. People can come see the baby and go, I don't want to face anybody. Because being an actor, I just could not believe that this happened to me.
Did it put some kind of complex in you? Because
Of
you
course.
had that?
Of course. I just thought I am going to be like this all my life. I thought my career was over. I thought my family life was over because I didn't want my husband to be seen with me if I had that face.
My God.
So I told him one day that if this does not heal in a year's time, I want you to move on and, get married to somebody. And he's like, are you crazy? What are you talking? What is this nonsense? You're going to be fine. And for me to hold my baby for the first time and not be able to kiss him because my lips were distorted, it was traumatizing.
My God, Amita, I can't even imagine.
I'm getting
And
goosebumps. So I would actually go to the hospital for the checkups with my entire face covered from here. From here, just keep my eyes open and just walk into the hospital. Because I had completely lost confidence. I stopped meeting. I did not even meet my closest friends. And they would
My
just
gosh.
barge in and I would quickly grab something, cover my face. And
And not just being an actor, I feel even
as
us,
a normal
I mean,
human,
I mean, all of us.
Yeah,
if
nobody
anybody
wants
of
to,
us
yes.
would have it, and I can totally
Yeah.
imagine what you
Yeah.
felt.
And I think somewhere I feel I'm a person, I think more about others who are valuable in my life. So for me, it was like, oh my God, how is Raghav going to walk into a room with my face like this? So embarrassing. How will I ever go to pick up my kids? What if somebody teases him, you saw your mother's face or something? So I'm never going to go to the school.
My God.
So these were the thoughts
and
going on.
every day you must be having these
Every
thoughts.
day I was in the room where my entire wardrobe was covered with newspapers. My phone was taken away, so I could not keep seeing myself. Anything that had reflection, whether it was a eating plate or anything that had a reflection, was taken away so that I don't keep seeing myself.
I really want to give you a hug.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank you so
it's-
much.
Even if I have to think, I can't imagine what it
I hope nobody goes through that, because it was not easy. It was not, I think I've become much stronger. When I gave my first interview about this, I only cried because I was like, oh my God, I got through it. And that time, my second case had not happened. So for me, that was like something big happened with me. But I think life taught me that nothing is big. You get through everything.
And you did.
I did.
And with so
I did.
much grace
I
and
did.
strength, I would say.
Thank you.
Leading Ladies podcast, and it's all about helping the women who are listening to us over
Right.
here probably learn from everybody's journey, and that's the purpose of this podcast. So any message you would like to give them of how to manage at times multiple roles and the challenges that come across with it?
I don't know if I am in the position to give anybody any suggestion.
I'm sure you are. I'm telling you what you've gone through. Now that I think our audiences have heard your story,
Right.
I think you have to give some message around that.
I just feel you have to believe in yourself and just have people who love you around you. That is the biggest thing, don't let them go away.
And trust that they are around.
Yeah, you have to. Both my deliveries, when I went through this, I had just completely let my life. I had just handed it over to my husband, to my parents. Do whatever you think is right. Take whatever decision. I am not going to get involved. I think I had given in because I had that faith that they will do the best and they will get me out. So I think that faith in your people, in your loved ones is very important, and to believe that you can get through it and you will get through it, again, is what we all need to keep in mind. And of course, we women, at the end of the day, no matter whatever we do, we forget to think about ourselves. Like I told you, that even while all this was happening, my thoughts were only about my husband, my children, my parents. I never thought what was happening to me, So we need to think about ourselves also. And we need to give priority to ourselves and make sure that if we have some dreams, we need to work towards that. So that after 20 years down the line, we are not sitting and crying
that we did.
हाँ कि हमने
Give an
अपने
attempt
बच्चों
to
को
it.
बड़ा करने के लिए अपनी life ये कर
Yeah.
ली. Nobody's asking
Yeah.
us. Say na that a happy mom is a happy family.
Yes.
So everybody needs to be happy, and all the babies and daddies need to keep the mummy happy. So yeah, it's important.
So on that note, why don't we do cheers to
Yes,
ourselves?
absolutely.
Cheers with our gloaty knees.
Yes.
Matching with your dress.
Yeah, so yum. Love
This
it.
is Glow Glutathione.
Yes.
You've been having it,
Of
I
course.
came to know.
Yes.
So
yes.
happy to hear that you always have a glow on your table.
Absolutely. Like I told you that few days back only, my team came and told me, "Oh, ma'am, they've just come here." Yeah, so I love the brand.
I am
Yes.
so happy and glad. And before we connected, also you're already having the
Having it,
brand.
yes.
I think that means a lot to
Yes.
us, and we feel so happy. And some things we were talking that
Right.
these are the things that make us happy,
Absolutely.
and that's what we work for.
Absolutely. And to see that something that you're working for is really, spreading out and giving you that amazing response, I can completely understand the satisfaction.
What makes us going?
Absolutely.
And glowing.
Yes, it's like how we make movies, and when the movie is doing well and
Yes.
people come and say, it's that satisfaction.
True that.
So I understand. This is your baby, so absolutely fabulously done.
Thank you, Amita. Did you also feel in your career while having kids, there was now it's a second innings you're playing, because in between you had to take that back seat.
Yeah.
How is it for you as well in your journey with kids?
So when I got married, I was already doing movies. And Raghav proposed, and I said yes. And my first thought was, is my career going to move forward or not? And that was, I think, the time where it was not very normal for actresses to just suddenly get married, you know. And I've been working from the age of 19.
And I think at that time it was also that if you get married, your career is kind
yeah,
of at
kind
a
of,
standstill.
yeah. And because I was working from the age of 19, I assisted on Omkara. I assisted on all our projects. So I was very used to working, but at the same time, because I had worked for so long, I thought 1 year I want to take off. In between, I did couple of campaigns and all that, but I didn't want to do like a proper, schedule. Then, of course, we planned our first baby in a year and a half of our marriage. And during that time, when I had my Bell's palsy attack, the whole confidence to face camera
That had
was gone. I was like, I don't think I can ever face the camera. And it took me 6 months to recover, but the impact stayed for at least 2 years, because I was like, oh my God, this happened. What if it happens on the set again?
It would be added to your postpartum whole.
I don't know if I went through postpartum.
Because of this thing
Yeah,
going
because
on
I was
with you.
already going through so much that I can't differentiate कि वो postpartum का था कि इसका था, and yeah, I mean, I decided कि अब let me just heal myself, and then I signed a film and I got pregnant with the second baby. I thought I could go through it, but I had like crazy first 2 months with the whole acidity and all, and I could not. I had to back out like
So
a
you
day
couldn't do
before.
that movie.
No, a day before I had to leave for the shoot. I could not go and shoot for that film. And then, of course, then the whole pregnancy was going on, which went on very smooth. And then after the delivery, my other case happened, which I spoke to you about. That what happened.
That's like your second life.
Yeah, because the doctor said that, this is your second life. We didn't know if you would survive. So I think that got me out of my first pregnancy trauma, which I thought was the biggest, but that was just the phase, right? This was my life. It literally was going. So I think my second situation taught me that you can get through everything. If you got through that, you could get through it. And for that also, my whole concern was I would see my baby because I was in the hospital for 8-9 days, and every day I would see my baby and I would be like, will I be able to carry him back home? Or will I not step out of this hospital alive, So I think the last day that we left was the day I actually howled and cried. And my mom came, she thought something else has happened. She's like, ab kya ho gaya? And I
It
told
was
her,
all the emotions.
yeah, I think that is where my whole postpartum thing came out. And my doctors came, they got scared that something else I'm feeling and going through. But then I told them it's just a feeling that I don't know, because it's a nerve that's ruptured, right? What if I am working out and it ruptures again? How do we know it's healed? You've not even opened me up again. How do you know it's healed back? So she told me the whole process, that how your skin heals, your, internal nerves also heal and everything. But again, for 5 months, I was on bed. I was not supposed to take steps. That clot took 5 months to slowly break down. In between that, I would get my fever spikes up to 103, 104, come down, go
and
through
that
pains.
time you have your older child
and
the
the baby.
one.
Yes. So I moved to my mom's house. So like I said, my family was always there. They were always there. Like at 3 o'clock also, I had somebody surrounding me and sitting and watching me, not sleeping next to me, but sitting up and watching that something is not happening. She's sleeping peacefully. So I think that kind of support told me that whatever I'll go through, I have people to back me up.
Help you see through it.
Yes.
And then after how many years you finally took a plunge back into the...
I used to travel a lot with Raghav before for his shows. I used to manage him also. Like my mom says, I put my hands in too many things.
That's what we do, right?
And I love doing it. I'm not a person who can sit at home. After 8 years, now I started traveling with him alone, because I never traveled without my kids before. But now with schooling and all, I don't want them to miss too much. So now we've started traveling again. And I am getting back to my production. I'm working on some projects. As far as acting is concerned, that is going to be something which, depends on what kind of work comes, what kind of project comes. But yeah, production is something that's in my blood.
So you're back to production.
Yes.
When we spoke about there are hits and flops, another word that we hear a lot in Bollywood industry is nepotism. And I think recently, past few years,
Yes.
If I have to name it, Coffee with Karan and
Yes.
those shows.
Our dearest friend
Yes,
has thrown the word at the world.
do you also face it, or have you seen it? Is it true? What would you say about it?
See, this is one word I just do not agree with. When I was launched, this word was not there. It has just come out some years back. Whatever it means, I've gone through that. I did not know what nepotism was, even while the word was introduced first. But I have gone through it. When I was launched, there were articles that, oh, another producer's daughter's coming, now to back-to-back films, milengi hoga. But people don't understand it's not easy for us, more of a pressure for us. Otherwise, having such a big industry and having big productions, every producer's daughter and son would be a superstar, right? People don't understand that nobody is going to put in money if they don't see the returns. If a doctor has opened a hospital and if the doctor's child is not going to take over, who's going to take over, right?
And ultimately, the child also has to perform better to be able to take those responsibilities.
Exactly. We have like biggest of examples in our industry where parents have done great and kids have not been able to cope up or live up to that. Or parents have struggled and kids have made it very big.
Yeah.
So I don't think, it's very easy to sit out and say nepotism exists in the industry. But it exists everywhere then. A businessman is making up the whole empire and the child is taking over. It's just the same thing. If I am a producer's daughter, I will take his legacy forward. My brother will take his legacy forward. We're not going to go and ask a neighbor to take over. And we're not going to go and take over that person's father's business, right? We are going to take over our parents, our family business forward. So I really don't understand how to put that word. I really don't understand what to say.
I mean, I have nothing for it, against it, because everybody has a role to play.
Absolutely.
And everybody's come here with a purpose.
Absolutely.
And you've got to work towards it,
Absolutely.
I guess. And I think what nepotism, what I have read is that outsiders are not welcome in the industry.
No, it's not.
But
so.
I'm sure that's not the case.
We have amazing actors who are from outside. Shah Rukh Khan, the biggest, the king of industries from out. You have Anushka, who's doing so amazing. She's from out. Like, we have so many talented people. Absolutely, so many. Like, I think we have more of outside people. I wouldn't call them outside because they are also a part of industry. But it's just that if, sometimes when the luck doesn't work or something doesn't work for you, now it becomes nepotism.
Wait, सबको कुछ ना कुछ word चाहिए, so there is always something to talk about.
Exactly.
Another, I think, landscape change that has happened, or I have seen, is earlier back in the days when I was growing up watching Bollywood industry, there were not many women producers.
Right.
It was always that women are in front of the camera and there's a role actress or leading lady and supporting actress and whatever, but behind the scenes, not just production, and I'm sure there are other aspects of filmmaking, that women's presence was quite
there, but it was not highlighted.
I mean, never spoken about. And I don't remember any women producer name at that time. And of course, now we know we have Zoya Akhtar, Farah Khan, you are there. So now we know the names, but back in those days, that was not the case. So what do you think changed this landscape as well?
So when I had produced my film, I was also acting, I was also producing. I had produced Atithi Tum Kab Jaoge with Konkona Sen Sharma and Ajay and
I remember seeing that movie. It was fun.
Yes. So I think I was the youngest lady producer. And my team used to be very excited. So they used to all call me youngest lady producer. So I think it was me, it was Ekta at that time.
Ekta changed this, I think, the whole scene in the TV industry as well.
But she was into television, I was into movies. So we were just few of us. But I think that people started realizing that women can do it and do it beautifully. And the concepts that women came up with.
But
So
did
I think-
was it a struggle for like Ekta Kapoor or you to say, okay, I want to produce
Of course,
a
I
movie,
mean,
and how was it taken?
I can talk about myself. Of course, we've all gone through it. I'm sure Ekta's gone through her struggles, Zoya's gone through her struggles. But for me, it was again, production apna hai to easily film bhi mil gayi. So it was always there. But I think I had just learned to walk past all these things and just focus on what I wanted to do. So struggles we all have. I mean, it's a part of our life.
And you just took the plunge.
Oh yeah.
कि I don't care what
हाँ.
others say. भाड़ में जाए लोग.
मैं तो
मैं तो
करूँगी.
करूँगी. Thank you, Amita, for such a great session that we've had. I think your journey is a testament of how a woman can balance between dreams and ambition, and at the same time find time to inspire others. I think what you shared with us, such an inspiring journey, which teaches us that we should lead with love,
Absolutely.
fight with courage,
Absolutely.
and above all, celebrate all milestones that we've achieved. So, looking forward to more milestones,
Yes.
empowering women,
Yes.
and many more women leading the way. Until then, keep shining, keep glowing. Thank you.